let's roll on and get into the release notes, right? We released some software this month. And before we actually roll into the release notes, let me maybe pull a thread forward from last month. Last month, we talked about how we are building a SaaS version of the Recast management server. It is so close to being done. We've got our next go, no go meeting on Friday. Not only does making that Recast cloud version of RMS, is that a fun, cool, awesome thing for people who don't want to have yet another piece of infrastructure to manage. A ton of the improvements we've done to make that work come to people running Recast management server, both getting Recast cloud out and all of those improvements in Recast management server we've been really working hard on. Those things aren't being released this month. I'm looking at, we're all crossing our fingers. We're hoping that June is going to be a crazy release notes month where we got to really shrink down story time because there's just going to be a crazy amount of stuff to talk about that we're releasing. So our release notes for this month are a couple of things we wanted to slide in and get released early ahead of that. And if we hit to the next slide, we're going to talk about these things and show them. And I think somebody's going to do some screen share. We're going to talk about the View Secure Boot certificate status. And we're going to talk about, well, yeah, let's just do that one first.
Yeah, let's just go right into it. And I think this one might just warrant a little bit of an explanation, just in case folks aren't familiar with what's going on with that. And put in the chat if you're dealing with this right now, but the Secure Boot certificate is expiring. That's in the UFI firmware essentially next month, right? It's expiring in June. And that's not, I'm not saying that to cause panic or anything like that, because it doesn't mean your computers are going to stop being able to boot or anything. It's just, it may affect your ability to take future security updates for UEFI. So it is something that kind of everyone has to deal with. Microsoft is going to try their best to do that for everyone if you're connected to Windows Update, if you have telemetry turned on and that kind of thing. But for a lot of folks that are in, a config manager environment or, just have some of that stuff disabled, they may not get those updates as well. So that's kind of the preface of everything of what this next tool is. So Marty's going to pull up maybe, hold on.
Careful.
Not a shutdown tool.
Do it. It was so close.
So Marty's going to pull up a tool that is called Remote Windows Security. So this is not a new tool. This is something that we've had for a while, but we've added a little bit of functionality here to help with the security problem. So if you go down to the firmware tab, you'll see on this screen a new column essentially, which is the certificate status. And this is whether those machines have been updated to the UEFI 2023 certificate. So you can see really quickly at a glance here, which devices in your, whatever collection or whatever group of devices you select to run this against have been updated. And if you can go ahead and expand that not started, you'll see some more details as well underneath there to know what that status is. So the certificate update readiness status right now, that is what you've configured to go. So you have to actually tell the devices that they're allowed to do these updates. So you can see some of these haven't been configured at all. That second one in the list is ready to update. So we've configured that one to that it's actually ready to do the certificate update. We'll also capture things like the error and the error event code. And then the confidence level, that's Microsoft's confidence level at the applicability of the update. So we just wanted to surface this information for you to give, more visibility to this problem that I think a lot of folks are dealing with. We heard this a lot at MMS. There were
several sessions on this.
Several sessions on just this topic. And they were fantastic sessions. And I know this is a hot topic right now in the community. And we keep hearing about it. The other thing I wanted to call real quick on this is it's not just visibility. Because it's right-click tools, it'd be silly if you couldn't act on it, right? So you'll see we'll actually just kind of maybe do a walkthrough of how this process should work. And actually, since we don't have that first one configured at all right now, Marty, if you could go to Recast Automation for me, and go to Recast Runner, and scroll down past all of the various automations we've built in this environment, there's a secure boot set the available updates key. So this is an automation that's in our community repo right now. So that will allow you to actually set the flag that you see in that column to enable updates. We put in a little bit of, a drop down here so you can say if I only want to do the certs right now, if I only want to do the boot manager, or if I want to do both. It is a fairly safe update. You're not going to break any machines by doing this necessarily. It's just adding more certificates in there. So go ahead and do the certs and boot manager, run it now. That's going to go ahead and set that registry key on the device for you. If we close out and do a refresh, that first device now is ready to update. And now that it's in that ready to update status, we can check the box on that, and there's a run secure boot task. So this will actually kick off the update on that device. It's a silent update. It doesn't require, it's not going to prompt people to reboot. It's not going to kick people out. It's not going to do anything like that. It's just going to do the built-in mechanism that Windows has for the secure boot update process. So this is a way, this runs on its own during restarts and things like that, but this is a way to kind of force the issue if you're doing testing, if you're got machines that are being, problem children and you just want to kind of kick this off. It's a way to take action on those devices immediately right from this tool. So yeah, we hope that's super helpful for folks. And also, if you have ideas for what would make this even better, throw them in the chat, throw them in the ideas portal, because we know this is probably going to be a long-lived issue, right? Even though the expiration's in June, this is probably going to go on for a while past then. And we may develop more tools and things to make that easier for folks.
We really, really, really want, when you go use this tool, almost all of them come back as true, or all of them to come back as true. That's what we want. We recognize that if you have thousands and thousands of devices, there's always at least one that wasn't listening right. We want to make it easy to grab that data live and then act on it right away. And this is our first attempt at that. You're going to see this tool in both browser extension and console extension. It's in both the Enterprise Edition and in Community Edition. For Community Edition, you'll be able to do it for individual devices. And yeah, this was a first step at trying to help people as they're trying to address their outliers between now and June and beyond. So give us your feedback.
I'm excited about it. Leading up to this, I was thinking through okay, with the hardware and firmware audit dashboard today, you can get at different devices that may have different BIOS versions or maybe in different states that okay, I need to address these devices in this fashion. And that's super helpful too. But this really cuts to the chase of what is the secure boot status and saves a ton of time, even on top of what we already had. So before the release notes came out, I was okay, how are we going to talk to customers about this? And seeing this is man, this makes it so much easier to tell that story. So super cool.
To get on a very frequent soapbox of mine, you have to keep your firmware up to date, right? 20 years ago, there was even back then, I think, misguided perception of, you only update the BIOS if you have to. And that was a bad idea back then. Today, that is absolutely not an option. You have to proactively keep the firmware up to date. And because UFI is a whole little operating system, things like certificates need to be maintained in it and security updates. If you are not proactively taking care of this, not only do you have a significant security issue in your organization, you have a significant negative impact on your end users because the vendors do not release fully tested, all great firmware for their devices. You got to keep your firmware and your drivers up to date or machines just crash. The number one reason Outlook crashes, other drivers, display driver, network driver, right? Your end users notice that their email crashed and they're going to blame Microsoft, which is great. Just always blame Microsoft. It was their fault. But keep your firmware and drivers up to date if you want to have a good experience. And yeah, if you are really great with driver and firmware hygiene, this UFI secure driver signing certificate expiration probably is a very minor issue because everything has just a minor update to do. if you've got parts of your fleet that aren't being taken care of, yeah, it's you've got some tech debt that you're going to be running into here over the next couple of months. We've got a bunch of tools we'll be using to try to help you get there. Yeah. All right, I'll get off the soapbox.
That's a good, so, I mean, and also like for the secure boot update, it's just in case that's not clear. A lot of times there's a minimum firmware requirement in order to apply this. So keeping that up to date is just incredibly important, and not optional anymore, in today's world. So I think we're gonna move on to the next,
Yeah, speaking of drivers, I think.
I was gonna go to system information.
Yeah.
Or our next release note item.
Yeah. This one's really cool. So the short of it is you can now export details found in system information as well as client information. And on the topic of drivers, had this customer call in the other day and he was like, hey, how do I get at the information that's being pulled into system information? Like perfect timing. This call was like last week, I think. And at that point, I didn't realize this was going to be in the release, which is very funny. And I was like, man, that's a great question. We've got a lot of these calls that can be accessed in Recast Builder. You know, we can create some automation potentially to help you pull this in. And really what he was trying to get at is like, I've got drivers in different versions, different statuses. Like I need to keep these up to date, but I'm having a really hard time like querying and getting at what I need. And while this has always been in here, the drivers tab, which again is fantastic, to Nash's point, like got to make sure your drivers stay up to date for a good user experience and make sure things aren't crashing and things are working as expected. You can sort in here. You can search for a given driver version. So what I did with him at the time was like, hey, let's just type in the driver version at the top. Then we can create a collection from there. But now with this new release, being able to export all the details to a CSV, you can get a little bit more involved and custom with how you want to scope to the collections to be created. So rather than just like a specific driver version, you can get all of this information in your hands and get at which specific devices you need to take action on. And then you can turn around and use the create collection tool in right-click tools to create that collection and then do what you need to do from there.
The reality is you often end up with a spreadsheet to keep track of the 12 things that you uncovered when you're in one of these tools. This just makes it easier to go and keep track of all the things because there's a ton of data these tools are showing.
it's a small thing, right? But it's the fact that you see this data, I should be able to get it, right? So this was actually just to shout out ideas as well. I think this was like number 3 or 4 on the list of like the top ideas that folks wanted for system information and, you know, in general, but yeah, so we added this to these tools, and we hope you find it useful, right? To just being able to do those ad hoc reports.
So
we think it's gonna
here
be really
and in client information, is that also what it is?
client information and system information today.
And we plan to add it to more of our multi-tab tools in the near future.
Yes, we do.
I want to give a shout out too. If you watched the show last month, Lucas was on doing his debut on the show. Lucas is a relatively new developer. Could not be more proud. He got to build this feature for us and it turned out really great. What a rock star. Yeah.
On the same note, shout out to Paul Wetter, who did the secure boot stuff for us and knocked that out of the park. So awesome work by both of them.
Great. All right. I want to do one last call to action there. Try it out. Both the secure boot tool and the mini export. Give us feedback on that. It's just our first iteration on it. Love to get early feedback before we invest a bunch more in there. Not really something to demo, but remote window security wasn't one of the menu items in the browser extension before. It is as of this release. If there are other tools that we are not surfacing in the browser extension that would be useful in places like Intune and the Entra admin portal and Jira and ServiceNow, go ahead and throw that feedback in. We'd love to know. We're actually going to talk at the very end of the show more specifically about getting some feedback from you on using tools in the browser context. But yeah, we're every month doing a little bit more to improve that story of doing systems management from the browser. So
Yeah, really timely on that one. There was some conversation in the chat of, hey, is the secure boot certificate tool available in Intune, the
Yeah.
browser extension? And it is now because remote Windows security is now available in the browser extension.
yeah, we'll talk about it at the end, but most of the right-click tools really had nothing to do with config man, although we do have some that have to do with config man and are super powerful. Most of them are just systems management tools. So wherever you're doing systems management, we're trying to make sure that those tools pop up there. If you've got your help desk over in ServiceNow or Jira or wherever, yep, here's the tools. Here's how to go and do the things you need to do to keep the systems humming.